Well, hello friends, Coach Bob with you today, and today we're going to be making a video that, honestly, I don't know whether I should be super excited about it or absolutely mortified. You'll know what I'm talking about here in a minute, especially if you're an older guy like me. We're going to be talking about an electric motorcycle. Now, just kind of cool your jets for just a minute. If you're one of those people who go, man, this does not interest me at all, I suggest you hang on because this could be world-changing in the motorcycle world, and if it is, we're all in for something. So we're going to talk about that right after this. So a little background. I had a 70 Chevy Nova in high school, and then eventually had a 1954 Ford truck that you pretty much smelled like a gas can when you got out of that thing. And I've ridden a lot of old motorcycles that were rattly and noisy and all that stuff. And so the internal combustion engine in me, we're like this. And the idea of electric stuff doesn't really turn me on. I rode in a friend's Prius one day. It was like riding in a golf cart. I hated it. Sorry, Prius owners. I understand what you're doing. I get it. I appreciate it. But I'm like, I wouldn't drive this thing for all the money in the world. Just wouldn't do it. Then the Tesla came out. I got the privilege of riding in a Tesla, and it pinned me to the seat as it took off. And I'm like, this is pretty cool. I don't know that I really want one, but this is pretty cool. And then I rode a friend of mine's electric bicycle. I'm like, this is a lot of fun, but will it ever be something in the motorcycle world? And I'm thinking, probably not. And if so, it won't be for me until now. And man, this is scary. That's a scary statement coming from me because I'm a geezer and I'm old and I'm locked down in the way it was and the way it should be and all that stuff. So I'm mired in all of that. But there's a company called Stark, and they have a model motorcycle that is due to be released in September of this year. This motorcycle MSRP is $11,900, and for one Ben Franklin, that's a $100 bill for those not in the know, for one Benjamin, you can get on the waiting list and have your own Varg delivered to you. Yes, the Stark Varg. Not Tony Stark, not Iron Man, although the technology, that's the first thing that entered my mind was when I heard Stark Future, I thought about the Iron Man movies. But the Stark Varg means strong wolf in Sweden, and the wolf there is the king of the forest. So this thing is, it's going to be super cool. It's not an American-made thing. It's going to be amazing. There's a guy named Anton Wass. It's spelled W-A-S-S like Wass, but it's pronounced Voss. He's the CEO of this company. He has a great interview on Gate Pod podcast number 35, if you want to listen to that. He was an early aspiring motocross rider in his teens, wanted to be a mechanic, found that wasn't his calling, went to college, got his degree in business, and with a partner started a company called 24 Max or 24MX online, a $1 billion corporation over in Europe. He now is the CEO of Stark, and he is moving and shaking. They have some big names backing this motorcycle too, which you may find interesting. Josh Hill, who is an AMA Supercross champion and an X Games competitor. Guy's an amazing rider. Also, if you want to watch his videos, they're all over online. Some interviews with him about riding the Varg. And also, they have another guy you may have heard of, Sebastian Tortelli, world champion motocross racer over in Europe. So this is a company that I believe we're going to hear a lot from. I think this company is the Tesla of motorcycles. Elon Musk said he wouldn't make an electric motorcycle. He had apparently been in a motorcycle accident or something like that when he was young, was not interested in motorcycles at all after that, and said he would not be a part of making them. So is Anton Wass the Elon Musk of motorcycles? Is Stark the Tesla of motorcycles? I guess only time will tell. Their philosophy is that electric technology is, get this, it is superior to gas and internal combustion. They believe the electric motorcycle is not only going to be the way, it's going to be the better way. They started, the background of Anton Wass, they talk about the typical press release. We're going to go motocross because it's the most demanding this. I believe they started motocross because this is Anton's background. This is what they know. And so that's what they started with. But here's a few of the things we're going to talk about in no particular order of this motorcycle. The video up here is their press release. I'll have a link to it down below. It's very, very well put together press release, by the way. But the dynamic power setting on the motorcycle, it has 80 horsepower. Yeah, 80 horsepower. It's pretty amazing. Each component on the bike was designed specifically for this particular motorcycle. No corner was cut. Power and efficiency, those two words are brought up many, many times in their press release. This is considered a cornerstone to their company philosophy. The company claims to have created the most advanced motorcycle powertrain in the world. That is quite a statement, a very bold statement, I might add. 30% greater peak power to rate ratio than the most powerful 450cc internal combustion motocross motorcycle in the world. The motor weighs 9 kilos and has the smallest inverter within the power range of this type of engine in the world. The motor and the inverter are integrated into a water-cooled motor case, which reduces the weight and volume. The electrical motor has the highest efficiency in the electric motor in their range in the world. The motor was designed to create a maximum amount of power because the most efficient use of the electric motor is in that mid-range, and so they didn't want to jeopardize the longevity of that battery, so they created more power so you could ride more in that mid-range, and that maximizes the amount of time that battery will run. The dash on the Varg is a cell phone. It's a cell phone. The Varg phone, the Stark Varg phone. With that phone, you can adjust a lot of cool things on this thing. I mean, when I say a lot, I mean a lot. You can adjust the power curve of the engine braking, virtual flywheel, weight, acceleration, deceleration, traction control, more than 100 customizable ride modes. That is insane. Lap timers, air time, GPS mapping, all of this data that you can share with your friends, and you can create individual maps and share those maps with your friends as well. And they also have an application for a standard Android phone and a standard iPhone so that you don't have to use your Varg phone for your actual telephone, but you can. The cool thing about this motorcycle is that, let's say, for example, you have an inexperienced rider who wants to ride motocross and he wants to ride, say, a 125. You can adjust to where you're riding a 125 two-stroke. You can have a power curve for a 125 two-stroke, or a 250 four-stroke, or a 450 four-stroke, or a 250 two-stroke. You get what I'm saying? You have a dozen motorcycles in one motorcycle. That is so amazing. The battery range is similar to a standard tank of gas on a 450cc internal combustion motocross motorcycle. So if you were racing in Supercross and you had to do a heat, it should be able to get you through that heat at race pace or up to 6 hours of trail riding. That is quite a bold statement. A full recharge will take you 1 to 2 hours, apparently based on whatever station or power source you're using. With the way their electrical is run over there, which is different than us, I'm sure it's more optimum for them more than us here in the States. So the battery has a capacity of 6 kilowatt hours. It is the most energy dense battery, you ready? In the world. You hear a lot of this in the world stuff. They are not slack on letting you know where they are and what they're doing and how much they believe in this product. They're not afraid to tell you that what they're doing is the best in the world. It is far superior to anyone else on the market. I look forward to really seeing one of these things and riding it. Again, the battery has low resistance, high capacity, and high efficiency for more range. It has a patent pending, and you'll need to watch their video. They do a nice presentation of this. But the case of the engine, the battery case, is honeycomb designed, and each power cell basically punches into that honeycomb of that engine case. It makes it strong, it makes it light, and being those cells are a part of that case, the outer case, it cools everything amazingly. Here's another thing that's pretty darn cool. It's waterproof. Yeah, it's waterproof. You could ride the thing underwater. You could be neck deep and riding across a river. Now, I don't know why you would want to do that, but you could if you wanted to. So water intrusion, that problem is gone. So let's talk about the chassis and the motorcycle itself. 110 kilos or 242 pounds. Now, you take a guy like me, I weigh 195 pounds. So I'm almost as heavy as the motorcycle. So here's what Stark Company did, Stark Future did. They took all of the top motocross motorcycles, they weighed them, they checked them for balance, for flex, and all of these things. Then they created the optimal chassis based on the information gathered from all of these other companies. Now, they say that it has a very predictable stance, ride, balance points, all of that stuff. The center of gravity is brought closer to you with the way that they can distribute the weight on this thing, which makes the motorcycle feel lighter and more stable. It has a carbon fiber subframe in the front that acts as an air cooling device that channels air down to the battery case. The battery case. I was going to say the cylinders. It has lifting handles in the seat where it's actually a part of the subframe so that you can grab it. No more breaking handles and that sort of thing. Why that wasn't done historically on conventional motorcycles, I don't know. The design was not bound by things that we normally have to have on motorcycles, radiators and exhausts. So they've designed this thing. It really does look quite wonderful. It's a beautiful machine. In fact, they have the Varg written on the, I was going to say on the gas tank, but it's not a gas tank, on the cowling where the gas tank would be in gold. Very, very cool. Another neat thing that they've done, the skid plate on the bottom serves more as a frame and a protector, which gives you better flex, less weight, a lot of stuff. Really, like I said, everything on this thing is cutting edge. It's crazy. The chain adjuster is done with a screw that clicks. And so you can back it a certain number of clicks or turn it in a certain number of clicks as opposed to trying to figure out the number of turns you made when you're adjusting that chain tension. Also, if anyone who's ever dealt with the axle nut on a motocross motorcycle that sticks out, this has a recessed axle, so you're not catching things like a log or whatever on the trail. Also, they've designed a special foot peg. This foot peg is made of a stainless steel alloy, supposedly lighter and stronger than titanium. It comes with a nice, easy removal pin, so it's easy to put these things on and off of this motorcycle. I would venture to say that a lot of these things that they're putting on this motorcycle are going to be aftermarket things that are going to be used on other motorcycles as well. I don't see them simply designing for one motorcycle and calling it quits. So the Stark Varg, it looks to me that they're changing the whole face of the motorcycle industry. These motorcycles have been talked about. They are lighting up the world on YouTube, on Instagram. Check them out because I really do believe this could be a turning point that I have both dreaded seeing and been intrigued by. I really do dread seeing the doing away of the internal combustion engine. I love the internal combustion engine. Is that feasible that this will occur in my lifetime? 5 years ago, I would have said no, it's not. But I'm beginning to second guess those thoughts. I'm looking at the cost of fuel, the ease of maintenance, all of these things. You don't have to have a mechanic anymore. Everything is simple. It either works or it doesn't. It's a scary world for the people like us who have been riding these motorcycles and driving these old cars that we don't want to see that change. I know that in Europe right now, there's a guy, Stuart Fillingham, he has a channel. on YouTube. Check him out. He does a video, and I'll see if I can't drop a card up here on this video, where he talks about how Europe is doing away with internal combustion engines and motorcycles in the next decade and all these things as far as production. It's pretty scary when you start thinking about what we've grown up with and what we know. Could it be wonderful? It could be. I don't know. Only time will tell. But the Stark Varg is definitely a move in that direction. It's a very bold move in that direction. You need to check them out because it could change three-wheeled motorcycles, two-wheeled motorcycles, bicycles, cars. You're going to see, because when you're looking at $11,900, that is a racing motorcycle. Now, that's a KTM. That's less than a lot of the KTMs out there. They're in the market, man. They're on the hunt. They are the wolf. They are the bold wolf. They are on the hunt. And I believe that we are the game. I tell you, I'm just going to put my hands up and say, let me ride one, because I want to ride one. I want to see what it's going to do. Because the pictures that I've seen and the videos that I've seen make me love it. And the idea of it makes me want to hate it. Oh, well, I'm just a fickle old man. But anyway, what do you think? Where do you think the world of motorcycling is going? Do you think this technology is getting ready to change the world of motorcycles and what we know? Are we at that tipping point? I think if we're not there, we're getting very, very close. All right, so there you have it. The Stark Varg, game changer, or meh, whatever. Anyway, do me a favor, go out this week, buy the motorcycle of your dreams, eat right, take care of yourself, and remember, if you're not having fun, you are doing it wrong. Now, you go seize the day and ride silently.